the subway Riviera, Waikiki, the Outer Banks, Miami, Key West, Cape Cod. I can probably list another 100 in the U.S. that are just wonderful, but they all pale in comparison to the one and only Brighton. Trust me, you may not believe this to be true, but one little girl knew better than all of us.
Imagine a perfect respite from a hot, humid summer day. An urban beach club spread across a 15-acre fenced-in area lining the shores along the Atlantic Ocean. The paid membership dues offered its members a myriad of amenities: 3 swimming pools, tennis and racquetball courts, a miniature golf course, live music and dancing, and star-studded entertainment. Maybe you wouldn't notice that you were in Brooklyn, New York, but even Brooklyn could toot its horn during some of those long, hot summers of the 50s and 60s. Forget about it. I can still feel the hot sand burning the soles of my feet as I dashed across the blanket and into the ocean. I can still hear the click, click, clack of mahjong tiles being tossed across the bridge table as my mother and her friends called out, 3 bam, 2 dot, dragon, mahjong. The sights and sounds are a wonderland of vivid childhood summers that I spent in a Brooklyn oasis. The 4-block walk from our apartment house to the Avenue W subway station was a hot and sweltering feat of endurance for my poor little 8-year-old body. Scrapping my little beach chair along the cracked cement pavement, I complained bitterly that it just wasn't fair that I had to schlep stuff and that I was getting too tired to make it another block. Just another half block, my mother promised. But what seemed like forever and a day, we were finally pushing ourselves sideways through the subway turnstiles. Ahead of us loomed the never-ending stairway up to the top of the subway platform. With one hand trailing the banister and the other hand looped through the iron bar atop the beach chair, I dragged my way up and up and up, accompanied by a chorus of clickety-clack, as the bottom of my chair bounced behind me. Barely catching my breath, my mom grabbed my hand in readiness for the dash into the car of the approaching D train bound for Coney Island. The train pulled in with ear-deafening squeaking brakes. The door hissed open, and in we dashed, heading for the support of the standing pole as the train began to lurch forward. Squished against our fellow beachgoers, we swayed and bumped shoulders for the 10-minute ride to our destination. A colorful array of beach blankets, inflated flamingo tubes, and beach balls, T-shirts and Bermuda shorts piled out like a rainbow wave onto the Sheepshead Bay stop. My excitement and anticipation trumped my whiny complaints as we left the station and reached the street level. Here and there, the old trolley car rails jutted up on the road surface. Elevated above our heads, the shadows of the crisscrossed railroad ties cooled the street. My mother took my hand as we stood at the curb waiting for the traffic light to turn green. We could make out the large billboard sign on the opposite side of the curb, announcing the entrance to the Brighton Beach Bath Tennis and Racket Club. "Put out your hand, little girl, so I can stamp it," the man at the gate announced. I looked twice, but I couldn't see anything on my hand after he had stamped me so hard. "It's invisible ink, sweetheart. Only I can see it," he smirked. Finally, we walked through the magical gates. My heart skipped happy beats as I looked forward to dancing down the aisle between the rows of seats facing the bandstand, shaped like a giant scalloped half shell. The band would play lively tunes and everyone would clap or sing along. I would dance as if I was a Brighton Beach prima ballerina. I was old enough now to swim in the grown-up pool and even dive off the diving board in the diving pool, where there was a window cut out to see the outside from underwater. I could go out to the real beach and swim in the real ocean. I could have lunch with my dad in the giant round cafeteria and then watch my dad play racquetball. A wonderful, fun-filled day. That's until my bathing suit itchy with sand, my skin smelling like sunshine and suntan oil. It was time to clean up before leaving for home. Oh no, the dreaded lockers and community showers was the ominous ending after a blissful day. Why couldn't we just shower at home? Rows and rows of narrow cubbies lined up and down aisles and aisles like soldiers standing at attention. Finding a locker was a dizzying navigational horror show. As you perused hundreds of numbers and letters A through Z to the left and to the right across more aisles, the shouts of Eureka could be heard as somebody finally located their assigned cubicle. Mom and I were wandering up and down until before us stood locker 295R. Eureka! Shedding our sand-laden bathing suits and wrapping towels around our naked bodies, Mom nudged me towards the sound of laughter echoing off a wide, three-sided wooden structure, sprouting iron arms of spraying waterfalls. Oh my gosh, I didn't want to look. All shapes, sizes, wrinkled, smooth bellies, legs, arms, and tushes. Worst of all, a forest of boobs, dangling, lifted to soap underneath, going in two different directions. Help, I didn't want to grow those things. Mom handed me a bar of soap. I soaped up my fist and I rubbed my eyes. Quickly, I brought the towel directly to my eyes, yelling to my mom that we had to get out of the shower now because I had soap in my eyes. Waddling back to locker 295R was a walk down the Green Mile in reverse. I got a last-minute stay of execution. We met up with my father at the exit from Paradise. We stood once again at the curb waiting for the light to turn green. I could read the sign on the front of the store of the opposite corner. One more moment of paradise to look forward to. The culinary epitome in all of Brooklyn, New York, Mrs. Stahl's Knishes. What's a knish, you might ask? The bestest ever savory single-serving pie filled with meat, potatoes, sauerkraut, onion, or cheese, baked or fried. My palate's preference, the simple potato. Traffic light green, the three Jacobses crossed over into Mrs. Stahl's Emporium. We practically floated along the aromatic wave of deliciousness as we found a table. Could this day get any better during a hot and humid summer day in Brooklyn, New York?